Hello and welcome back to the Kick and P podcast. I am your host, the one and only Prince, and we back with a special episode, ladies and gentlemen. We back today. I got a special guest in the building. I want to give it a proper introduction. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a real good high vibrational conversation today. Today I have a special guest on. Again, she is a holistic health practitioner, a businesswoman, entrepreneur, conqueror of the earth, the one and only Quee. Please join me in welcoming her to the show, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening, Quee? What's happening?
Peace, everyone. Peace, everyone. How y'all doing?
Glad to have you on, man. How you feeling?
I feel wonderful. I'm so grateful that you have me on here today. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you joining us, man. We're gonna have a good one today, man. You ready to jump right into it?
Yes, indeed. Let's dive in.
Let's do it then. So I wanted to have you on because I wanted to have a high vibrational conversation around just health and wellness, and not just specifically in our community, but just probably just in general, just for most people. I would say we living in a scary time right now. Like humanity is probably in its worst health condition wise, I would say, and probably since humanity's existence. Right now, just in the U.S. alone, over 73% of the population is overweight and obese. In the Black community, over almost 50%, 49.6% of Black adult Americans are obese. So we living in a time where everybody's sick. Nobody's really flourishing as far as their health. The number one cause of death in the country is heart disease, and that's heart attacks, coronary artery attacks, and heart diseases, and just stuff like that, strokes and hypertension. So we living in a super, super unhealthy time right now, and it's kind of scary. What are your thoughts on that?
I wholeheartedly agree. Everything you said is facts. These are things that I talk about all the time and try to bring awareness to try and encourage people to start thinking about these things, start taking proactive measures instead of being so reactive, waiting on a diagnosis before they do something and make changes, because it's inevitable. If you live in this lifestyle, you eating this food, you're going to end up down the line
Gotta
sooner
air
or
quote the
later.
food.
Yeah, because it's not food, right? This is what I talk about. I pretty much use my platform to find creative ways to put that out there, push that message.
No, that's super important too. And we need that message to be pushed more, especially within our community and our culture. I feel like it's not really an emphasis on it. We kind of push it to the back burner. It's something that affects everybody's life every single day, but it's not something that we kind of like push to the forefront as far as like dealing with on a cultural level. We kind of just go about our regular day and just deal with it on the back burner. So I definitely think that a shift needs to be made within the culture of prioritizing that. So, but I want to start off with this though. I want to ask you, like, what led you down this path though? The path of just wanting to be more healthy and just, I know it's a long one, but the journey is always a long journey, but just kind of like break it down for us a little bit, like what started you on that journey of just wanting to be more healthy and live a more healthy life?
There were so many catalysts on this journey. I started this in 2018, right? Where I really started locking in. But I would say the first major catalyst, I was sitting down eating some chicken fried rice with my son, and we watched this documentary called What the Health. All my vegan friends were encouraging me to watch this documentary. So we watched it, and I finished eating my chicken fried rice because I had paid for that.
Right.
But by the end of that documentary, I went cold turkey on all animal products, all meat, all dairy products. I never bought them again ever since then. Don't cook them, don't eat them. I was done after that. It was very eye-opening. And as a parent, it infuriated me because I learned so much about the food system here in America and just pretty much how they poisoning us.
Talk about that too. Talk about when you start to unpack all the information that they give you about how the American food system work and just how poisonous it is. Talk about like that feeling of when it finally hit you and you realize like they are literally trying to fucking kill us. Like it's super eye-opening, right?
Infuriating. I got rage. I was like, man, y'all got me messed up.
It's crazy.
Y'all are having us basically sign up, agree, and volunteer to poison ourselves and our children who we love so much. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not intentional, right? But it's still negligent on our parts
Mm.
because we have the resources, we have the ability to read those labels and get on Google. We have so much resources available to us at our
Mm-hmm.
fingertips, and we don't utilize it. Because people are so kind of spoiled and lazy here now.
Mm.
They so dependent on the system and they trust them
Mm.
because the FDA approved it. But if you actually go and research what the FDA approves and how it's banned in all these other countries, like, you'll start questioning that too. Like, you know what? Maybe I need to see if I approve of this or not.
Mm. It'll blow your mind. Like, damn, that's banned over there. They don't even allow that in their country,
Exactly.
and we consume it every day.
Most of our food here is banned in a lot of countries. They will
Mm.
not allow their citizens to be fed that stuff because
Mm.
they know what it causes. They know that it poisons you. It damages your major organs. It
Mm.
causes major diseases and stuff. It causes, you know, it causes issues with development in children and so many things. Like
Mm.
it's so many ingredients been tied and linked to major illness and disease, and then so many of these ingredients are used in like cleaning agents
Mm.
and like
No, that's a fact.
so many different items that it's just like, if it's used as a preservative over there and that, why am I eating this?
No, that's a fact. I just found out that a preservative that they use in bread here in America is a material that's the same material that they use in yoga mats. So
Yes.
so the same preservatives that they put in the yoga mat, they put in the bread that people eat every single day. Like,
Because
that's
they want
fucking crazy.
they want to extend that shelf life, and that's all that is about here is the bottom dollar.
Mm.
It's about the bottom dollar. You have to
Yeah.
understand, once you unlearn the construct that they care about me here, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
much better off. You care about yourself. Learn to care about yourself, and take your precautions on your own, because
Yeah.
these corporations care about that money,
That's
and
all
they're
they
going
care
to
about.
extend that shelf life, and they're going to add in whatever they can add in to make sure that they get top dollar for their products.
Every time.
No, and then it's just like, if you just look at the basic definition of food and what it means, it's something that's supposed to give nutrition and
Mm.
and things like that for your body to grow and develop. And if you look at the ingredients on most of these food products found in the store and in the aisle, it have nothing. They may have nutrition facts
Mm.
because of added like synthetic vitamins and stuff like
Mm.
that, added synthetic vitamins, minerals, or whatever. But it really has nothing in terms of nutrition to offer you as a
Mm.
growing, developing human being. Like,
Yeah.
it's dead food made in a lab, chemically grown, chemically
Mm-hmm.
made. It's not a natural, it's not something natural, and
It's
you
not.
are a natural being, so you need something aligned with your being to
Yeah.
eat.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's what it is, though, too. I think you said it. It's the nutrients that's in the food. They remove the nutrients from like whatever grains that they put in there, whatever organic material that they do use. They put a synthetic version of it in there. Like if they're using wheat, they remove the germ from the wheat and insert it with the synthetic with the synthetic germ
Exactly.
to preserve the food so it can sit on the shelf for a longer time so they can basically just get their bag. And those same preservatives, they don't break down in the body at all. The body can't digest them. So a big part of that too, and I'm probably just jumping all over the place, my bad, but
Okay.
well, we talking though, so but a big part of that is just properly knowing how like you said this shit work. It's kind of like not necessarily just taking in what they tell you, but definitely going to do your research and figuring out how this shit actually work. Because if you just going off what they telling you and what they giving you, you will be 66.
You're lost.
And on your last leg, you will be 65 years old in somebody's hospice, ready to go any day.
Popping pills the rest of your life is what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be. Going to
Mm-hmm.
the doctor, being misled and misguided.
Mm.
My mother went through this. Like, my mother was my first official client. Like,
Mm.
I started my dietary change in 2018, but like how I got into the work that I'm doing now
Mm.
was like it was a journey. Like I had
Yeah.
to learn, I had to unlearn I had to unlearn the construct of the food pyramid and realize
Mm.
that's propaganda. There's no
Mm.
truth to that. I had to unlearn like and realize like, damn, we have been miseducated on purpose,
For
very
sure.
strategically, very
Purposefully.
intentionally
Yeah.
for us to be a part of this pipeline to end up through the food
Mm-hmm.
sick and on pharmaceuticals
Yep.
and dying and and a part of the system that manages your symptoms instead of actually cures and heals.
Right.
So my grandmother died, and when the pandemic happened and with
Mm.
COVID and everything in 2020, my grandmother passed right at the
Mm.
beginning of that. And
Rest our spirit.
what you say?
I said rest our spirit.
Thank you, thank you. You know, she was a huge catalyst because I'm an alchemist, so I
Mm.
alchemized the energy, right? And
Mm.
like losing her was very painful, but it was also very inspiring and motivational because it's like, man, how could I have helped her? So
Right.
I went down so many rabbit holes just learning about food and herbs and how to use that as medicine to actually um I want to be selective with my choice of
Mm.
words
No, I
to
feel you.
actually improve certain
Mm.
conditions, you know?
Yeah.
So she passed away and then COVID happened. My family members who lived in different states, they wanted like by that time I was already using like stuff like black seed oil and sea moss and things like
Mm.
that. And all of the stores were hiking up the prices right during
Right.
that
Right.
time.
Mm.
And I just felt so taken advantage of. I'm like, this is not okay. So I'm like, you know what? I'm very solution based. How about I find my own suppliers for these things and
Mm.
supply them, provide them myself for my people at an affordable rate and educate people about this stuff so they don't have to feel hopeless and fearful during this time.
Mm.
And that's when I started arming myself with the knowledge to learn so that I could be credible at telling people and teaching people and sharing that knowledge. And then that's when my apothecary came to be, So Into You Apothecary.
Mm.
Um, and that's when I started creating and producing products. But then from there, it just never stops.
Mm. There you
So at
go.
that point, I was just a businesswoman just selling
Yeah.
products. And that's honestly as far as I saw myself taking it, was
Mm.
just expanding and building on that, like having
Mm.
a full range of products, herbal products and
Mm.
stuff. And then my mother ended up with heart failure, congestive
Mm.
heart failure.
Mm.
And my mother is like completely healthy, like lived so healthy. She never
Mm.
smoked, never really drank. Like she was never, she don't eat bad. So it was like completely came from left field. Like, what
Right.
in the world? How did this happen to you? And it was really scary because it's like watching your superwoman on, like kryptonite. Like
Mm.
it's like it was a complete night and day from how she is. Like she's super independent and she just went to not being able to do anything for herself for real, like not
Mm.
being able to stand for too long. She just had no energy. She just
Right.
completely, So during that time, I started reaching out to other herbalists, like master herbalists that I knew that kind of took me up under their wings and was teaching me things
Mm.
and mentoring me. And one of them, his name is Cosmo Sage. I called him and I was like, hey, I was really scared. I'm like, I need you to take my mom on as a client.
Mm.
It's really bad and I don't think I can do it. Like, I'm not ready to help her. And he was like, you got it, sister. You
Mm.
can do it. And I was like, dude,
So you sure? You sure I'm ready?
because yeah, like outside of that, I hadn't helped anyone with anything major except for
Mm.
myself and my children and like, little colds and flus, COVID, like stuff like that I've been
Right.
helping people with. But it's like, this is big. This is life or death. And
Mm.
long story short, I took it on. I moved in with her and we basically started to reverse it over the past 2 years. Like right now, she's at a complete 180 from where she started.
Mm.
I learned so much. I got into these books behind me
Nice.
and I was studying my butt off. And we learned through trial and error,
Mm.
but she trusted me fully with her life. She got off all medication. The doctors did not recommend it.
Mm.
And she just went to see a heart specialist last month. And they was like, basically like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You
Mm.
have definitely reversed, like your heart is healing. And they was
Dope.
just really impressed. And I was like, I love moments like that. It's full circle for me because it really
Yeah.
helps me to like I'm still realizing through my field research, like I know it's possible, but actually to see it, to see the results, it's like, wow, we really can do this. It's tangible. We're doing it, you know? It
Super
hits
tangible.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hitting different.
So let me ask you this though: what do you think are some habits that cause that add to the causes of like hypertension, heart disease? Just a few of the, because that's a big one, especially within our community. A lot of our people are losing their lives to heart disease, and a lot of that's through diet. Like I said, hypertension, heart disease, different stuff like that. So, what do you think are some contributing factors to those type of heart issues?
The number one contributing factor is the diet. Number two is stress, like high cortisol levels. Like a lot of us learn how to function in with high cortisol to the point where we kind of get addicted to it, and we don't know how to function with unless we're under high stress. That was one of the contributing factors for my mother. It was more so cortisol, stress, not food for her.
Right.
Also, like the lifestyle, like we don't really like we spend so much time stuck in survival mode trying to work and provide that we don't really pour into ourselves properly. Like we don't really care for our vessels. We don't really stretch and work out. And people feel like they have to carve out time to go to the gym. You don't. If you have an open space anywhere in your home or step outside, put your feet in the grass, stretch, raise your hands, reach the sun, like do some walk, go for a walk after a meal, like just go for a walk, let your digestive system assist that process, walk that food down. But people don't have the education or just the knowledge or whatever. And a lot of people just I find it more comfortable to make excuses, honestly. And people don't like when I come out just very blunt and straightforward and say stuff like that. But I just call it how I see it, and it's accountability. Like you gotta own up to your stuff. Like a lot of us are lazy.
That's a big one.
For things that we just don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because we're comfortable not doing those things. And so it's like we're in our own way. But another huge aspect that's really not talked about much at all, but it's very important aspect, especially in a holistic, when you're looking at things through a holistic lens, because you have not just your physical body, you have your mental body, your emotional body, your astral body. Like we're very, very dimensional beings.
For sure.
For my mother, another huge aspect for her was just the literal heartache and pain that she has experienced through her life and never fully processed, never fully worked through, never really dealt with.
Right.
And those things, the body keeps score, right? Those things add up over time and they can manifest as physical symptoms or physical illness. And there's a lot of trauma in the community that's not dealt with, not processed. We don't have the help, the support, the resources to really face those things. So we just kind of learn how to suppress. But it's not healthy at all. It's not. And the body can only take so much.
I think that's a big one too. You just touched on. I think people usually like dive into the dietary aspect of it, which is I think a huge portion of it. But the trauma based side of it, the emotional side of it, I think is another big one that's not often talked about either, though. So that's super interesting as you said that.
Yeah, that's why so many like healthy people that look generally healthy, they live a healthy lifestyle, like they're not exempt. You're not exempt from the stresses of life, from the challenges of life, and whether you had a mental capacity to deal with that or not. Like you're not exempt from heartbreak, from traumatic experiences. You have to have the tools to know how to work through that, how to heal yourself from those things as well, not just go and take a herb or pop a pill for something, like you have to have these tools, and we don't. These are things they don't teach you in school. And this is why I'm so passionate about the work, because these are things we absolutely need. They are essential. These tools are essential. So like when I work with clients, I tell them like, I don't call myself a healer, right? People have coined that term for me and refer to me as such. I am a healer because I heal myself. I am my own healer. We are all our own healers. Your body was designed to heal itself, given the right environment, given the right tools. Right. All I do is guide and assist people to do that for themselves, because self-sufficiency is key, you know?
It is. It is. And it's tough for a lot of people, though, because it involves a certain level of discipline. And I think accountability and discipline is really tough for people to gauge these days. With so much distraction in the world just being in the state it's in now, I think discipline plays a huge, huge role in that. And I think education too, though. Just talk about for a quick second too how important it is, just as far as like an educational standpoint, just to have the thirst for a certain knowledge. You get what I'm saying? Like how important that is to actually go and seek information, and how just seeking the information and being properly educated can just change your life.
It's crucial. Like they say knowledge is power, but knowledge applied is power. Knowledge applied.
Yeah.
Because you can know and just sit here and consume information just scrolling on the internet, and you can parrot that information, and that's what a lot of people do today. They just, it's like, oh, I heard this, so let me say this and I'll sound smart. But what are you actually doing to implement that? What are you actually doing in your life to actually see that manifested, to actually, you know, that's why I tell people, get in the field. And
you got to. That's the only way the universe going to align you with it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way.
Don't just talk about the benefits of fasting. Are you fasting? Be the message you bring. Practice what you preach. Walk that walk. Don't just talk that talk. Like, it's crucial. And you know, I encourage my children to read. I incentivize reading. I try to bribe them to read like any way I can, because it's so important. All the good information is in those books.
It is.
The misinformation on this internet, especially now in the day of AI,
it's crazy.
You have, like, I had someone come to me and they saw a video of this like really renowned herbalist and detox specialist. It was a video of him making a juice, but over it they had like an audio script that was not him, but it sounded like him.
Right.
And it was giving misinformation, and they actually thought it was him saying it. I'm like, no, he would never. Only because I know, you know, because I've studied. I'm like, I know absolutely he would never recommend somebody to do that. I know this for a fact. That's not right. But the average person don't know that. They're not going to catch that, and they're going to run with that. And so it's like, it's crucial you arm yourself with knowledge. Arm yourself with knowledge. Like, your mind is your greatest asset. It's your greatest weapon. It's a great tool that you have to use.
I think so too. I gotta wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the flip side of it, of not knowing, is destructive. I think the flip side of not being properly educated is you easily manipulated and easily misled. And I think it's just destruction. I think being properly educated is not only constructive, but it also puts you in a place where you can be proactive instead of reactive. And I think not being properly educated is just a downhill, because not being properly educated to have you believing in the 3 meals a day myth, and have you, you know what I'm saying, to have you consuming so much, then you just put yourself at a detriment just because you haven't properly educated yourself on the things you're supposed to be versed on. So you way more susceptible to manipulation, and that could put you in a place where you don't necessarily want to be. So I'm definitely on the same page, but properly educating yourself, I think, is the number one thing to avoid certain faults. Self-awareness, being conscious. Yeah.
You need awareness of self. You need awareness of the world around you. And awareness of self is really the key, because with awareness of self, you learn like how your body, how your systems work, what they are, how to identify your organs, what do they need, what are you made of, what is the organic material you made of, you know, like the minerals and things. And okay, so then that bring you to the food. Well, so how do I properly fuel my body? That's also self-awareness, learning how do I eat? What am I, you know, like what am I eating that is self-destructive, that is destroying me, slowing me down, eating away at my vitality? Like, self-awareness is like, you know, it's the door that opens and leads you to all the other doors. So you can actually truly learn. And then, you know, with that, it's like each one teach one. sort of
Right.
thing. Like you once you learn these things, you get passionate automatically.
Yeah.
And you want to start telling everybody around you. You want to start helping your family,
Mm.
which is kind of like bittersweet sort of thing, because what I've had, a harsh truth I've had to accept is that like everyone is not my assignment.
Ooh.
And everyone is not going to be ready to receive this and make these changes. Some people are okay with doing exactly what they're doing, even if it's destroying them.
Yeah.
And I have to learn to be okay with that too.
That's a tough one though. That's a tough one.
It's hard.
Especially when you I think spiritually aligned and you reach a certain frequency. I think you want to try to pull back and just help as many people as you can and come into the realization that everybody not ready to receive certain vibrations and certain frequencies. It's tough because like I said, once you reach a certain frequency, love in your heart kind of like, you know what I'm saying, it kind of like opens up and broadens up a little bit. Oozes from you. Yeah. And it's like, I just want to be that guy to assist, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be like, that person's just not ready to receive it. And it just be, sometimes it'd be heartbreaking, but I think that's a big part of my journey too, learning how to be more accepting of that and just being like, you know, everybody got their own time. But it's like, I just want to help you so bad. I got much love for you. So I mean, but I definitely think that's a big one. Just realizing that everybody got their own path to walk, I think. So
acceptance.
Yeah.
Accountability, acceptance, and gratitude are like, man, that's my big three.
Yeah. I gotta sprinkle discipline in there, but I wish you or the other was for sure. I think they're the toughest ones, I think they're the toughest battle to conquer, I think, for humanity. Because we just so lost and so misguided. It's the toughest one. People could come to grips with pretty much everything else, but those four things, I would say, it's tough for the average soul to wrap their consciousness around, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you said the discipline one, because that's a big one. And
I've been tough, man. I've been struggling myself. I've been struggling myself, man. It's tough because you know the path and you know the energy that you're supposed to vibrate at, and sometimes it's just tough. Sometimes you just get caught up in just the rigmarole of just life in general, and it just sometimes sweep you up. But it goes back to what you're saying about awareness. Once that awareness kicks in and you stop missing the forest for the trees, and pull yourself back, you're able to, okay, let me lock back in. I know better, so let me do better. But it's tough, man. It's tough though.
That bridging that gap between knowing better and doing better, because once you know better, it's like you can't enjoy the same stuff. You can't. It's no more ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss is out the door. Now ignorance is awareness, and now you're gonna be probably going in on yourself. Like once I watched What the Help, I couldn't eat like chicken and stuff like that with a clear conscience,
right? Because
I'm in my head like reviewing this stuff that I learned, and it's like, girl, what are you doing?
Your consciousness screaming at you. You are you serious right now, bro? Like,
And I can't have a moment of peace doing those things now because I just know better. So it's challenging, but like I said, bridging that gap is hard. It's not easy, but I tell people all the time, you can do hard things, and I try my best to lead by example so that people can draw strength and inspiration from me. And that's why I share my journey, because like when I do things, I be like, when I did this 30-day liquid fast, I was so happy and excited. I'm like a little kid, because y'all just don't know what it took me to get here.
I was gonna say, how was that? How was that experience and going through that journey? 30 days. What was it? All liquid?
All liquid.
All liquid, no solid foods. How was that?
It was amazing. It was transformative. It was a fight for my life, though. It was hard. It was hard, but it was so empowering, though.
Yeah.
And everything came in waves and phases, but I built up the tolerance to do that over 2 years. It was not, I didn't just do that overnight. Like I worked towards that consistently. And I fell off and I slipped up a lot, but I pulled myself back and I anchored myself to fasting, to cleansing. And when I did the 30 days, it was like my body felt so light and so free and so clear. And I had so much, like I had an unlimited supply of energy to pull from. So like I just had so much energy. I felt so good in my body. But there were also, because of I was targeting certain areas, like I did the colon cleanse first, and then I remineralized, right? So I'm taking in natural minerals through the herbs and teas and stuff, and then I started supporting my liver to detox, and that's when it got real, because the liver holds and stores like anger and things like that, those type of emotions. So I started actually feeling like my body was so sensitive, I could feel my liver like detoxing. And with that came emotional like baggage being released. So I was a lot of crying during that week, and it was just a very heavy, that week specifically was a very heavy week when I was focused on that.
Right.
But then the last week it was like, man, we in the home stretch. Like I really did this.
Right.
I just did this, and I was like, man, like I just couldn't. I don't want to say I couldn't believe it, but it was just so surreal. Like, wow, I really just went this long. And when I say empowering, it's like, man, you can't tell me I can't do something now. I just did the unthinkable. Like, who's going without food for 30 days?
Right.
I never thought I could do that. And I
that's big. That's big. So what are some of the benefits of going on a fast like that? Even intermittent fasting, just all liquid fasting. What are some of the biological benefits of fasting for the people that we giving game to? Because we giving game to them today, Quee. So go ahead and give them a little game of what is some of the benefits of it?
One of the main benefits, okay, so to start, your digestive system is gonna benefit, right? Your gut is gonna be basically reset. And doing an extended fast like what I just did for 30 days, you get cellular regeneration. So now your cells get the opportunity to actually clean themselves up and heal and repair. So this is how you can really improve a lot of major illness and diseases that are typically deemed as uncurable or whatever, you know. But that you get that deep cellular repair. And just like and like for people who want to change their diet, right? I always recommend them to start fasting and like intermittent fasting, then doing short-term fasting, because it's a great reset. You empty out your bowels, so you clearing out any waste that's holding you down. You emptying out your intestinal tract, you know. There's a lot of waste that's stored in there. People don't believe it, but seeing the things that I have seen, you can't deny it. The colon itself, like your intestines is like 26 feet long. And the fact that people actually have convinced themselves that they're empty, you know, once you eat, it only takes like a day and then they're emptied again. No, they're not. You're constantly, especially with this 3 meals a day, you're constantly digesting, even in your sleep. Like, so you get to clear out, you know, your digestive tract and start breaking away and eating away start breaking down rather, like layers of waste buildup that never got the attention that it needed before the next meal has to get prioritized, you know? And so that sits in there, that clings and sticks to the walls, and then it becomes like a hard mucus type of stuff. Like it becomes mucoid plaque, which is a controversial term. And people could call it whatever they want, but it exists. It's in there. It's in the books. It's in the studies. Like the doctors, the scientists, the medical examiners, they have all, you know, stated that this stuff is in there. There's, you know, like when they open up deceased bodies and stuff like that, they always find hard and calcified waste sitting in their intestinal tract. So it's like you don't have to believe when I say it. I have pictures and videos.
Right.
I've seen it myself. Do it yourself and see it for yourself. And then come back and tell me what you think about it. You know, because a lot of people be so dismissive out the gate. But you clearing out your digestive tract. You know, your gut is where 80% of your immune system lives, right? That's where the cells for your immune system are produced. So that's your first line of defense.
A lot of people don't know that, how important that gut health is like that. It's important to your entire bodily health.
Everything. It is your first brain. Your gut is your first brain. your gut communicates directly to your brain, to your mind, and basically tells it what to do. That's why when you get cravings, they're so powerful. And you will go and eat something that you know you shouldn't eat, or you might have just told yourself, like, I'm done eating sweets or something. But soon as that gut communicate, it takes over.
Take right over. Yep.
That gut brain axis is like your gut is truly your first brain. And so, you know, like you would get the opportunity to like clear that out, reset that, and start over, pretty much build a new, because your gut has it has a microbiome, it has a whole environment in there.
Yeah.
And based off the way that you eating, that is the environment that you have created. So when you do a cleanse or a fast, you get to wipe that out pretty much. You get to like basically like deconstruct it to rebuild all over. And that's why how you start a fast and prepare your body, how you do the fast, and how you break it are all equally important. You know, nothing is more important than the other. Like people think they could do a fast and then jump right back into eating the same way. You're going to mess yourself up, and you shouldn't be doing that. It's not a temporary fix. People associate like natural medicine with the Western system, and they think that it's a quick fix, and it's not. And
It's not.
yeah, it's not the same. Like the body needs strength and time and adjustments for this stuff to take effect. It's not the same at all. And no disrespect to the Western system. Like I do respect the technology.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like the Western medical system is great for like emergencies and like life-threatening, like emergency situations. Amazing. But when it comes to like actual long-term care, reversal, and all of that, no good at all.
No, it's not. And they admit that too. I was just watching not too long ago. It was a doctor. I think she's the Surgeon General elect now. Her name was Dr. Casey Means. And she was on the Joe Rogan show talking about how, and this was news to me, I didn't even notice at the time, that doctors in general, they're not trained to address the underlying issues. They train to address the symptoms of the issues. And symptomology. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. That kind of like messed my mind up. I'm like, that's what the doctors are doing these days? So they basically just like drug dealers, if I'm being honest. They get paid a certain amount to push certain prescriptions and certain pills that just treat the symptoms, but they're not trained to even give advice to take care of the underlying issues of what's causing the symptoms. And when I learned that blew my fucking mind. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that is insane.
They don't even take like nutrition classes and stuff.
Yeah. They're not required to, I heard.
And when they're not, and the one that they are, I think it's maybe like one, like generally speaking, maybe like one basic surface general nutrition class. And, you know, you pretty much in that class learning about the food pyramid, which we already talked about earlier. Right. So it's just like, you know, it's a huge contradiction in the medical system. It's a huge walking contradiction. But because the origins and the foundation was never right. So it's a lot of good people working as nurses and doctors, and they do the best that they can to actually provide care and help and save people. But because of the system that they were trained in, it's only so much that they can do, because they were not introduced and exposed to these modalities that I utilize. You know, they would have to go outside of their training, their formal training, to learn these things. And a lot of times it can be a conflict of interest, and it could get them in trouble. So you know, they won't advise certain things. But it's like I said, huge contradiction. Like I just saw someone that was getting chemotherapy, and they went to a cancer treatment center, and they were in a waiting area, and they were recording the snacks. And all of the snacks is carcinogen snacks. So it's just like all of the things that's going to feed the cancer is what they're being served there. Not a piece of fruit in sight, not a veggie in sight. You know, it's just like this insane. To the untrained eye, you would actually think, oh man, these people really care about me. That's so thoughtful. To me, it's infuriating. It's like, wow, y'all are very bold and audacious.
Yeah. But I think a big part of it is too, I think it's just full circle back to proper education. What I think people don't even necessarily make the correlation of cancer from food. I don't think people realize that what they eat is what causes cancer. I think people just think that it can just happen to you when they're like, you just wake up and like, oh man, Unc got cancer, man. He going out. Not necessarily making a correlation that it's directly caused by from what you put into your gut and your gut health. All cancer is the body trying to cure itself. It's trying to lump together all these dead and cancerous cells and trying to force them out of the body, but the body not made to make such a push. So that's all cancer really is. So I think that's a big part of it too. Just proper, go back to full circle what we saying, being properly educated on it, because just knowing that will probably change a lot of people's perception. Like, we got to start making that correlation. Like, that's just not nothing that you just wake up with one day. That's caused by lifestyle and directly from what you put in your stomach. Another big one was, again, we touched on it too, the 3 meals a day thing. Like, type 2 diabetes ain't really nothing but insulin resistance. It's from your body constantly producing insulin, because the insulin is supposed to regulate the blood, the sugar that's in your blood, to bring it down to a nice neutral level. So when your body is constantly being fed food and it's constantly being stored, and sugar is constantly being stored, and sugar's constantly in the bloodstream, then it's constantly producing insulin, and the body builds up a resistance to it. So that's all type 2 diabetes is. And I think that people need to do a better job of, man, I don't want to sound like like I'm beating a dead horse, but educating themselves, because that shit is literally, it's more than half the battle. And it's just like, man.
Yes, like, man, that's pretty much what I spend most of my time doing is arming my clients with knowledge.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you're going to sustain it. I can help you. I can show you how to get this under wraps. Like, I have a client right now, and we significantly improved type 2 diabetes to the point where it was no longer, detective. It was no longer detected in her lab results at all.
And people think that's hard. That's not even really hard when you really think about it. Once you do your research and figure it out, like, that ain't nothing that's impossible for nobody.
It's so attainable for everybody, even on the cheapest budget. People think, oh, it's so expensive. No, it's not. No, it's not. You can go get beans and stuff from a food drive. They give that away. They give away fresh fruit and produce and stuff. You can, it's very obtainable. It's just, it starts in your mind first. If you defeated yourself in your mind, then you don't stand a chance. It starts there. If you can affirm yourself and claim something in your mind, then it's absolutely achievable.
That's a fact.
100%. And so, like, I start there with the mental magic first with my clients. But then it's like, we get to work and we start making changes. We start removing things and substituting things, because that's all it comes down to. It's like, you have to learn how to eat, how to cook, how to shop.
Yeah.
And you need to understand why you shouldn't eat that and you should eat this instead. What is this doing to your body? And what is this going to do for your body? Like, it all comes down to the knowledge. And then I feel like a lot of people are convinced that of this generation, it run in my family, it's hereditary, and it's like, everything is not hereditary.
That's another big one.
Yeah, like, and especially with cancer, people say, oh, it's hereditary, my mother and no, it's not hereditary. It's because y'all ate the same way, and yet that was passed down. Those eating habits, those recipes was passed down. And not only that, because it's not just about what you consume and eat. It's about what you put on your skin. Like, 80% of what you put on your skin goes straight into your bloodstream, and people are not intentional enough. People are not paying attention to the fabrics they're wearing. Like, everything now is made of polyester, which is basically like cheap plastic. And so a lot of women will be having like reproductive issues, and they could be looking everywhere else. It could literally be the fact that you only wear polyester panties. You're never wearing cotton. You're never wearing linen. Like, your bed set is made of 100% polyester. Like, that's problematic for your health.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they don't correlate that. They don't correlate that. They don't correlate the body washes and the shampoos and the lotions and the perfumes and the colognes and the feminine care products. Like, they're not correlating this stuff, and it's all connected, because
it really is.
It's all going into our system and feeding our system either poison or electricity.
No, that's a fact. Shit, even the water too. It's all the fluoride that they put in the water. You got to get like special filters for your water, for your shower. because even the amount of fluoride that they put in the water is just, it changes your biological chemistry. And people don't realize that just one day you just, why am I feeling this way today? And it's because you didn't took on so much filtered, you know what I'm saying? Filtered city water that has all type of other people's testosterone and estrogen in the water that they can't filter out at the subatomic level, and you taking that right on, like you said, the water get on your skin soak it right up, and now you arguing with your man, you and your man been arguing all day. Y'all don't even know why y'all been arguing all day. So that's super important.
It is. Like, did you see the study on atrazine that they did with the frogs?
Yes.
Yeah,
And how it
and
was
that's in
turning
the water.
how it was turning male. And people think that's like some myth shit. And I'm like, no, that's really real. Like, the water was really turning male frogs into female frogs.
And that was only the test that they did with the frogs was only a small percentage compared to what's found in our water system, especially in the major cities. So imagine what it's doing to the hormone levels of the men.
Right.
Imagine what it's doing to the hormones of the men. Like, it's biological warfare.
It is.
And not only that, the food, a lot of the foods have soy in it and stuff, like, especially like, I told my son, he knows this, but a lot of men that transition and try to eat healthier, they try to eat vegan food or whatever. A lot of vegan food is ultra processed as well.
It is. It's just as bad. Yeah.
It's just as bad.
It's
It's made of soy or gluten. And gluten is gonna basically it's encouraging diabetes, right? And other things. It's so many ways I can go with that. And then you have soy, which is super high in estrogen, right? So if you're a man and you're constantly eating food that's boosting your estrogen, what do you think that's going to do to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just imagine. Imagine. Like, there are physical effects, but there are also like mental, emotional effects that has on a man.
For sure.
And like, but this is why I push cleansing. Like, that is my message, my life's work and message, because it is the key. It is the only way that we have a chance.
Yeah.
Especially here in America, because you can't get away from it. It's in the air. In the air. You know, you got the heavy metals and the different stuff in the air. It's in the water, like we just discussed. It's in the food. It's in the fabrics. It's in everything. Like, everything has these exochemicals and stuff. Right? That we should not be taking in, but we are on a regular basis. So what are we doing? You get a car, right? You get a oil change every so often. You're not going to miss that oil change. You know it's going to ruin your engine. Right? You're not going to risk that. Everyone who has a car gets maintenance done. They get an oil change. If the tire air, if the air is low, they go and get that taken care of. We don't have that same mentality when it comes to our bodies, and that is a problem. We are extremely reactive when it comes to our bodies, and we need to be proactive. We need to be doing regular maintenance and damage control. Once we fully understand that we are constantly taking in toxins and chemicals, it's not hard to understand the importance of regular maintenance, regular cleansing, like regular fasting, like giving your body a break and an opportunity to do this heavy repair work. You don't have to go 30 days. You can go, like you said, intermittent fasting, or going a couple days a week or once a month, really doing it in, you know, like something though. Like, the average person does no type of maintenance, cleansing internally at all. They only do external maintenance, go to the gym, get their hair done, nails done, haircut, all that, make sure they look presentable optically. But it's like, what about what's going on inside? Are you having regular bowel movements? How is your liver functioning? Are your kidneys functioning? How's your heart? Like, it's so many questions.
That's a fact. And it comes to the point where like people be like embarrassed to talk about it. I think like health stuff, people try to keep close to the chest. They don't really like to put it out there and have discussions about it. So people just keep going and don't make no lifestyle changes, and the shit just become worse and worse. Like you said, the people in the cancer office, they still have the same diet that they was eating that caused the cancer in the first place. So it's like,
it's so sad to see. For me, it really breaks my heart, but it drives me though. Like, I just saw a little baby pass away from asthma. It broke my heart. I know so many people who pass from diabetes. Like, this drives my work. Like, this is why I'm so passionate, and a lot of people don't understand. They think I'm rage baiting and stuff. I'm so serious about this.
No, I'll be the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, like my niece, she was 18. She was diagnosed with gallstones.
Mm.
I got my gallbladder removed in 2017 before I came into knowledge of any of this stuff,
Mm.
right? And, the doctors pressured me and they told me that was my only option and I got it removed. My mother got hers removed. My grandmother got hers removed. Like it's something that's generational on the family,
Right.
And when it happened to her, I was like so passionate about making sure she would not get cut on. If that organ was placed in your body at birth, it's a reason it's there.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't let a doctor convince you that you don't need it. It's not
Right.
important. So we got to work and I put her on a cleanse. I put her on a fast. I put her on an all fruit diet for 30 days and she did a colon cleanse and then we flushed her gallbladder and she passed all these gallstones naturally. And I was so amazed to see it, like to actually see the gallstones, like it was just it's so surreal. It's so surreal because it's like I sat with her in the doctor's office and I watched them tell her surgery is the only way. There's nothing else that you can do.
Right.
And it's just like, man, they lying to us.
They lie like a motherfucker, man. They trying to get paid and they don't care what it takes to get it. They gonna make it happen to get it.
Maybe it's still one of those things where it's like only the higher ups know and like the doctors actually believe this. And that's why they're the perfect people to tell you that, your body, you don't need it. We have to give you surgery, because they really don't know because their training doesn't require them to know that. Their training teaches them exactly what they said.
No,
but it's just like, nah, I know something else, sir. You wrong.
It's something else. You probably leave it out, sir. Let me let you know a little something.
And you're gonna be asking me questions, which always happen. The doctors always be asking me 1,000 questions. And they're like, at one time, I went to the dentist and she like took notes, asking me questions about like, what can I take for this and what can I do for that? And I was like, it's very eye-opening. It's like, wow, y'all don't know these things.
They don't.
You spent so many years. You spent like 8 years in school studying what they put in these books for you. And I'm over here studying these books over here that say something else.
Right.
So, and you ain't got no solution and I got the solution. So now you trying to see what I know.
They solution is to ease the pain and suffering. That's their solution. To make it, to manage the pain and instead of getting to the underlying causes of it, man.
Yeah, I want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I do think that's the case, though. I do think it's that they genuinely don't know. I think it is above they pay grade, so to speak. The real knowledge up there, and they just fed a certain narrative and told to push a certain narrative. So I definitely think that's the case.
Yeah, that's why I don't like, try to like villainize them but a lot of them, like when I make post and talk about stuff, a lot of them get defensive and offended and upset with me, but it's just like, I'm just speaking fact. But I understand you're invested in everything like that and you take pride in what you do, as you should, but you got to go and do the research and look at who founded this whole system that you are a part of now.
People don't want to do that though. They never do that. They just take it for face value, and it's like, you got to do your research and dig into that shit. You got to figure out why people are saying what they saying and why, and it just and follow the money is pretty much what you got to do. Once you follow the money, you could pretty much get to the bottom of any of this shit that they tell you. Once you follow that money all the way back, you be like, oh, that's what they doing with this? Okay. But people don't never take that step easily. It don't take much research at all. A couple little clips there,
fingertips. It's
a couple clips there. 3 articles, 1, 2, 3 books. You to figure out the whole setup and figure out the whole play. And once you figure out one play, it's just really repetition and just pattern recognition after that, figuring out all their other plays. So,
because it's like they try to say that like holistic medicine, natural medicine, herbal medicine is alternative. It's not. This is the OG. This was here first. We've been doing this. We've been doing this for hundreds and hundreds. This is how our ancestors took care of themselves. They didn't have all this technology and things. This is the original medicine. They try to push us to the side because of the pharmaceutical industry. And that's when they saw how much money they could make by stretching it and incorporating. They still incorporate the herbs into all the medications. Like all the medications I've looked up that my clients were taking before I kind of transitioned them off, they all had herbs in them. So that's why the doctors would tell them like, oh, be careful because she wants to give you this herb, because I work with the doctors, right? But they'll be like, oh, but this herb is in that medication, so too much of it. It's like, well, what do we need the medication for? All y'all added was petroleum, right? All y'all added was petroleum as to cut it and stretch it, and some other unnecessary chemicals, which cause the unpleasant side effects, right?
Right.
But the herb is still the star of the show. So what do we need that for? Why don't we just cut out the middleman and just go straight to the source, back to the earth? Where the real solution is.
Where the real solution is. That's what they do too. Or they'll just take, like, say they try to make it seem like holistic health is like juju shit, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh, that shit don't work. Oh, put some garlic and onion in your sock, or so. Oh, that type of shit don't work. When really, that's, like you said, that's the basis of their medication. Instead of putting the certain herbs into certain medications, they'll just go extract from the herb what's in the herb to implement a certain healing process. I don't know the specific names of it, but they'll go in garlic and get the whatever the shit is in garlic that helps heal and have healing attributes, and they'll make a synthetic version of that and put that in their medicine. So they always try to make it seem, to mimic the effects of it, for sure. So it's like they try to make it look like don't listen to that shit. That's juju backwater. Don't listen. That's pagan type of shit. Don't listen to that. Listen to this, when that ain't nothing but a synthetic version of the shit you're supposed to be actually getting into. So it's like, that shit is crazy.
And then people so conditioned to expect things to be so instant because of the way Western medicine work. You take Tylenol, it bring your fever down. Or get rid of ibuprofen or whatever, get rid of your headache so fast. But it's like, natural medicine don't work like that. Natural medicine, you have to learn to endure a little bit longer and give it some time for your body to adjust, for this to build up in your system. And like I said, you need strength and stuff like that. So like, I've had people come to me that was like terminally ill, stage 4 cancer and stuff, and come to me as a last resort. It's like, you can't do that, because now they don't even have the strength or the time for what I'm going to help do, what I would do for them to take effect.
Right.
To actually work. They don't have the strength. They don't have the time. So it's nothing I can do for you. Don't treat this as a last resort. This should be the way you're living in the first place. This is not something that you just come to, try to do an emergency after the fact. But that's that whole reactive, mindset that people have, where they want to wait until something happens and then do something about it. You can see it coming from a mile away. Look at cheating.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Like, come on now, just go ahead and prepare for that. Just start drinking the tea now.
Get it done now. Start now.
Just let it build up in your system. Like, I
also seen from one of your posts, you had said the transition from a standard American diet to a whole food based diet is a paradigm shift.
Yes,
you unpack that a little bit and just explain to the people what you meant by that.
Like, because it starts in your mind first. It starts in your mind first, and then it manifests in your physical body, and then it manifests in your physical environment, but in that order. It don't work no other way. Like I was saying earlier about, like, if you defeat yourself in your mind when it comes to like improving a certain condition, then you don't stand a chance, because you're not allowing that paradigm shift to happen where it needs to happen on these grounds. This is the battlefield. This is the ultimate battlefield that you have to conquer first. It's in your mind, because you can be your own worst enemy. Those thoughts and stuff, those belief systems, you have to destroy them. You have to go to war with yourself and your teachings and stuff, and unlearn and relearn. And like it is like it changes everything. But that's how it works. Once you change your mind, like, everything changes after that. Your whole outlook, your perspective changes after that. You can be experiencing the same exact thing as somebody else, but if you have a different perspective, that experience is totally different.
It's completely different. Yeah.
It might look the same from the outside, to somebody looking at both of y'all.
Right.
But your experience is not the same, because you allowed yourself to go through a paradigm shift. Like, and now you're not operating from that same frequency anymore. You're not operating from that vibration no more. You on a whole nother level. You're in another dimension somewhere.
Right.
going through this. So that's what it is. And like the dietary change from the standard American diet, like the paradigm shift is like, like everybody, okay, so one of the main beliefs of the old paradigm is that it's too expensive to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Right? I had to transmute that by telling myself, you know what? I don't care what the cost is, I'm worth it, for one. And whatever the cost is, like it will be provided for me. Like I'm not worried about that. I'm not gonna worry about that. If this is the type of food that I'm supposed to eat, then I'll have the means, or they will come for me to eat like this.
Right.
And it literally has, because that's what I told myself, and that's what I believe and what I know. So that has been the case ever since. I have never had an issue with maintaining eating this way and feeding my children this way. Like we always have fruit. And it's not because we rich and wealthy and, like I be struggling, I be going through it just like everybody else, like just like any other single mother, single parent or whatever. But literally it just always works out because up in here, I'm locked in. Like I'm locked in, and you can't tell me that I don't deserve to eat like this and to feed my babies like this. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me it's too expensive. I brush that off. I don't accept that. I don't believe that. You believe that. That's your truth. It's no longer mine. I used to believe that when I used to feed them a certain type of way, McDonald's and stuff like that. I used to believe that, but not anymore. Like that's just not my story anymore. And these are things that people tell themselves in that paradigm to keep them stuck there. Like it's a prison. It's a prison, but
it is.
It's mental enslavement. You're in your own way. You're keeping yourself stuck there because you don't challenge your beliefs. You don't question your own beliefs and try to figure out, where did I even pick this up at? Where was I introduced to this belief? Like I believe in going down a rabbit hole on every single thing. So it's like,
you have to.
I have a thought like that and be like, why though? Why is it expensive? Is it expensive? Really? Let me go to the grocery store and let me see. Like my mom started taking me to food pantries. I was seeing the good stuff that was given away. I'm like, through my experience, I just deconstructed that belief until I replaced it with something else. And it's work, it's effort.
It is. It's a lot of that.
Yeah, but I mean, so is everything.
In fact, anything worth doing is worth doing. So yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. But no, I think that's a big one too. I think it has to start with the mental first. I think before you even want to really travel down that path of seeking true health and wellness, I definitely think it starts with a mental one, and I would even say a spiritual one. I think if you wanna do it the correct way, I think, but definitely changing your perception, changing your condition on what you've been trained to think, what you've been conditioned to think is normal, but it's absolutely the exact opposite. I think that's super, super important. But again, I think it'll go back to what we said earlier, how tough it is to have that discipline, to have that awareness, and to have that consciousness. Like, nah, this just don't sit right. Or let me look into this more. Let me not just take what I've been given. Let me go look into this and figure out what's really to this shit. So I think that's a huge part of it, getting in a mental space first before you try to jump into it. You can get into it first, but the probability of you falling back into certain habits, I think, is higher if you just jump right into it. Let me just go to the gym every day, or let me just try to just eat bananas for 2 weeks. I think it's harder that way if you don't address the mental and even spiritual side of it first.
Yeah, but you know what? Falling back and into the same habits is a part of the journey. It's been a huge, like, beneficial part of my journey, falling up and slipping up and falling on my face. Because through those moments is how I address the mental. It's how I address the patterns and the habits and the, like in the old outdated belief systems. That's how I address them, through those experiences of having to face them, through a challenge that I failed. Like, failure is a great teacher on this journey. People expect this journey to be just so perfect where it's like you start and you just don't stop. No, life is not going to stop happening. Things are going to come up. You're going to fall short. you're going to fall back into old habits because that's just what happens. It's a part of it. It's a part of the journey. Like, you can't expect to not go through that. You utilize it for your benefit. You learn from it. You implement the lessons. And then when you find your footing again, you get back on the path. Like, you know, like this is why I tell people, like, don't think that you're going to start a fast, even if you finish it. And then after you're done, you just your life gonna be different forever after that. You're gonna just eat good forever after that. And never go back to wanting and craving something or missing something. No, there's last night I was journaling and I was talking about how hard one of the hardest aspects of making like true transformation and stuff in life is the fact that you have to constantly have funerals, like in your mind for people who you were in relationships with, friendships or whatever, like in whatever capacity that you outgrew, that was no longer aligned, right? Not only that, you have to have funerals for yourself, the outdated versions of yourself that you're outgrowing. That is real grieving. Like it's real grieving. It's hard and ugly. And like, it's not pleasant. And I constantly find myself going through this over and over and over again. But it's just like, you have to let the old die. You have to grieve it, and you have to take your time with that process, just like with any other grieving process. And sometimes it can be lifelong. You'll forever miss that version of yourself that was carefree, that just ate whatever she wanted and did whatever she wanted because she didn't know any better. Like, I miss her.
Yeah. See, I miss him. My lit buddy. Oh, man. We had some good times. No, I'm with you, though. Yeah, I'm with you, though. But I do, it do take that, though, taking that, like you said, kind of having a funeral for the older versions of yourself, especially if you truly seeking a higher frequency, I would say. It's definitely important to lay a certain aspect of yourself to bed, I think. If you wanna venture into new realms and new possibilities and new discoveries, you definitely gotta chip away at that old, not so intelligent part of yourself, I would say. So, yeah.
Death always comes before rebirth. You have to embrace that process. If you are here, if you want to grow, it's inevitable. Like, it's mandatory. It's absolutely mandatory. You would never grow, and like, if you don't face challenges and like embrace change, like radical change, death, physical, not just physical, but like, spiritual, like just all different types of, like, death it's a major theme in life. It's a part of life.
It is. You only alive because you died. That's why I try to encourage people so much to just really get into your spiritual bag, really figure out how all this shit work and how it's supposed to work, because it'll change your life, man. It'll just change your whole perception on life. You would look at death a certain way. People have such a negative perception about death, but it's because people don't know the real about death. We've been given a perception about it to run away from it and to fear it and to just have, like I said, a negative perception on it. But if you just take the time to dive into real spirituality and figure out how this shit work, how the universe work, how life cycles work, how reincarnation work, I think it'll change your perception. It'll definitely change your perception, but it'll make you less susceptible to just even want to engage in certain bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And it'll make it easier for you to be able to apply that to, like I said, really taking care of yourself and really, you know what I'm saying, really jumping into the wellness side of locking in with yourself. So I definitely think that aligning yourself spiritually, I think would help first if you on that type of time. But I think it's something that we got to push more as a culture, though. Like really, really diving into more spirituality and leaning away less towards religion. I've been getting to with people over religion, man. You can't tell people about their religion, man. Like, I've been getting so much pushback, man. Group chats that went up in flames, all type of shit, man. Because it's like when you being challenged on certain beliefs, it's like people have a tendency of like locking into a defensive mechanism. People that vibrate at a certain level, I would say. People that vibrate at a higher level, I noticed that they more open-minded as far as like having discussions about certain things. But when you vibrate at a certain level, and you being challenged on something that you believe wholeheartedly in, like a defensive thing, like you put up a wall and you start to go into this defensive fight or flight mode, and it's like, but I don't be letting up on their ass though. I be challenging every.
You shouldn't, because it's
I
not.
be challenging every. Yeah, it's just all ego. It's just all ego and propaganda. So I challenge them on every religious aspect. I'm like, man, get away from that shit. And they can never address none of the contradictions of religion. That's why I love talking to true like believers and Christians and Muslims. I love having debates with them because they can never explain the contradictions away from their religion. So I be trying to get people to push more towards the spiritual side, especially if you want to properly know yourself and take care of yourself and be your complete healthy self. You got to get your mental right and the spiritual right. And I think the rest is going to follow, especially, the health side and not passing away in your 60s like a lot of us is doing these days. 65, 66, everybody passing away.
Younger.
It's getting younger every year.
What's going on now, it's very young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're seeing the youth with diseases that you usually wouldn't see until people hit their 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, my niece having gallstones at 18 is crazy because usually it's something that's diagnosed to older women. Even me getting it, and I was 25? That was young. But every generation is showing up younger and younger and younger.
It is.
Because we going further and further away from like real food. We getting more disconnected from nature, more into technology, the artificial, everything. Yeah. So it's like the youth. If our generation don't like step up, which we are though. I think so too.
Yeah, I think we stepping it up a little bit. I think it's more at the forefront or being pushed more towards the forefront of culture. I think with our generation than our past ones.
So the youth, they'll be all right. They stand a chance. Like, we fighting for them.
Yeah, we looking out for y'all, man. We try to get y'all together, man. We gonna make sure we keep giving y'all this game so we can just change the perception, man. We got y'all, man. We gonna figure it out.
I continue doing the work and pouring into anyone who is open to receive.
There we go. And that's the important part.
Those who are not, they're not my assignment. And I just have to keep it pushing. I won't waste the energy or time because I accept the fact that maybe they're not here in this lifetime to receive this message and walk this path. Maybe they are here to be a part of the resistance.
Right.
Whether it might be someone in my family that I love to death, and I have to accept the fact that they might just be a part of the resistance. And so
that's a fact.
It's so much deeper.
It is.
It's much deeper
than
just family ties and blood ties. It's like, no, like you said, it's very spiritual. Like, there's a whole nother aspect of this that we can't even see. And if you're not tapped in, then you're not in tune with it at all.
Yeah. You really just lost in the sauce at that point. You just a victim of somebody else's life manifestations at that point, which is the reality for a lot of us too, which is sad. But
never questioning anything, just accepting. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. I'm grateful for my growth and my path and my journey because I am an investigator. So I'm going to question everything.
I'm the same way.
I question myself 20 times a day.
Yeah.
If I tell myself something or think something, I'm going to question it because I want to know what's the origin of that. Am I carrying someone else's belief that I just took on and accepted without thinking twice? Or is this authentic to me? Is this really what I believe? Like, you got to constantly be doing that.
Got to. I turn into Batman real quick. I get to investigating some shit. I'm getting to the bottom. I'm not going to stop till I get to the bottom of it. I'm heavily deep in the research. I done went down 12 rabbit holes to get to this bit of information. Like, you got to be a detective. You got to turn into an investigative detective.
Literally. In life. You have to. And like you said about you said high vibrational beings are more open-minded, right?
Yeah.
Because we understand all of the stands that we don't know anything for real. We don't. That's why we're here, to learn, to find and seek truth. But when you stuck in a low vibrational, you stuck in a system, a belief system or whatever. You are taught not to question. You're taught, they tell you don't question God, in religion. So it's like, you're taught you're trained through fear. Yeah, you're stuck in that low vibrational emotion of fear, not to question and to get defensive and defend this truth that you've accepted. And like, it's like your ego is so prideful because your ego want to cling to the fact that you have based your whole life from a child or whenever you pick this up, this is what you accepted. So it's like somebody coming and questioning you. It's like, I get why they be so,
it's kind of earth-shattering.
So like, you trying to uproot my whole foundation that I built on. I'm not ready to rebuild my whole life. My whole life is structured around this belief system. Don't come and touch this. Leave my beliefs alone.
Leave that alone, please. I'm struggling enough as it is. Please don't take that from me. So yeah, that's definitely how they be.
Long time. You just,
when they there, they'll get there. But tell the people, facts. But tell the people they can find the work, man, where they can find, because I know because I'm in a Facebook group, so I'm getting all the game. So tell the people where they can find you, where they can, seek more information. I know you're doing your thing as far as getting people together with the cleanses. So just let the people know where they can look you up at.
So I am on Instagram as the Natural Herb Dealer. So that's THE Natural HERB Dealer. That's my name on pretty much all platforms. Even if you search that in Facebook, I'll pop up. Through my social medias, you'll find all my links. I have a link tree, and I have an online herbal apothecary. I have a free Facebook cleansing community group. I have just a range of like free resources that I try to provide. I will be opening my consultation, my books back up this month.
Nice.
To work with people one-on-one. And I will also be expanding my offerings later on this month as well, because they're very limited right now. But yeah, and I'm online. I go live. I'm on TikTok as well as the Natural Herb Dealer. Like, I try to post a lot of informational, educational videos and stuff. And, I'm very authentic to myself. So I throw in my humor and my personality. And I am not for everyone, but I trust that the people I'm for, they will come and find me. They will gravitate to me, and lock in. I'm building my tribe. So
there we go.
Definitely check me out. Tap in with me on social media.
For sure. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up, man. I want to thank my special guest, Qui, for joining us today. I think the conversation was high vibration. I think we gave a couple of gems, man, into people. I definitely encourage y'all to don't just take our word for it. Dive in, do your own complete research, become obsessed with it to the point to where you won't stop until you get to the bottom of it. But yeah, man, thank you for joining me today, Qui. I appreciate you. We got to do this again. We got to definitely get more into a spiritual bag. We do like a panel or something, man. We get some spiritually aligned people that we talk about some dive into some more good stuff. But thank you again for joining us, man. Until next time, I see y'all. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all have a good night. Peace.